Welcome to the Times Are Changing podcast. My name is Chase. I'm joined here with Zach. We are the COO and CEO of Golden Aspect. This is a podcast about cutting-edge strategies in digital and social media marketing.
In today's episode, we explore a new version of personal branding where your brand revolves around your business. We've used this method to great success in the past and explain how with one of our favorite case studies. Without any further ado, let's jump right in.
All right, so this is an episode on personal branding, but specifically an aspect of or a style of personal branding that we found to be very successful. And it's going to add on to everything that we've been mentioning about building a social media presence for your brand. It's number one, most important that you build that presence for your business. But at the same time, there's another level, a sort of next step you can take once you've built that presence. And that revolves around you or someone in your business and building a personal brand that's tied to that business.
So when it comes to business accounts on social media, it's important to remember that social media was initially created for people. It's called social. It's meant for interacting between humans, not necessarily businesses. So with that in mind, there are a certain amount of drawbacks that come with putting your business on social media through a strictly business-focused lens. Most particularly, it can be really sort of not human, if that makes any sense. People don't necessarily want to just interact with a bunch of just random product photos on white backgrounds. They want to go on Instagram or Facebook or whatever to see photos of their friends and other people. They want to interact with other people. They don't necessarily just want to interact with boring graphics from a business. So there's a certain amount of drawbacks that come with just putting your business up on social in this way.
Yeah, if you have just a business account, you're missing out on all the benefits that you get from interacting with a personal account. So that's why we recommend that you do both. And we recommend that you tie them together and you use your personal account and your personal branding as a way to push your business. But what you're going to be doing is using yourself, using your brand or someone else in your business. Like it doesn't have to be yourself, but someone who is charismatic and social and interested in building their personal brand. You can do that in tandem with your business account. And what this is going to do is allow you to get the benefits of both. You're going to be able to see the benefits from having a personal account and all the relationships that you build there and the interaction you get from a person-to-person level. And you're going to get the benefits of having a business account and people interacting with your products. And so this is kind of a best of both worlds scenario where you're able to have your business account still be very active and strong, but by combining that with a personal account that's also pushing the business, you're able to reap the benefits of having both types of accounts. And on social media these days, this is a huge competitive advantage and something that you should definitely be trying to do, whether it's you or someone else involved in your business that you think would be a good fit for this.
So to clarify, this idea is very different than just promoting your business brand through your own personal accounts. What we're talking about here is combining your personal brand and your business brand under one roof on social media, sharing the same accounts, tying your brand directly to your person. And what this is going to do is it's going to open up a lot of different doors for, like Chase said, for you to take advantage of both aspects, business and personal, on social media. By connecting your brand directly to you personally, you're going to be able to interact with much larger variety of potential customers who are not only interested in your brand, but interested in you as a person. You essentially sort of become your own influencer for your brand because as these accounts grow, you're not only growing your business, you're growing your own personal network as well. And when people start to buy into you as a person, they're going to be much more likely to buy into whatever product or service you're starting to push because they want to see you personally succeed. They're interested in your interests. They're interested in you as a person and what you're doing in your life. with that as a prerequisite, anybody that is going to be following these accounts or interacting with your posts is going to be much more likely to convert on anything that you are pushing their direction.
Yeah, it's a good point you made, Zach, about acting as your own influencer. And one of the benefits to being your own influencer is that not only are you an influencer for your brand, but you're essentially the best influencer for your brand, because what we're talking about here is ensuring that your personal brand revolves around your business. And when we say that, we mean that basically everything that you post and everything that you do ties back to your business. So it's not that, you do like a classic influencer collaboration with your own business once in a while where you do a post that includes some of your products. It's like every photo, every video, everything that you do ties back to your business in some way. We're gonna open up a bunch of case studies on this, but there's a bunch of examples of how people have done this successfully, and what they've been able to do is essentially tie their business to their name, and this has massive business benefit, obviously, because people are going to associate you with the brand. And the more people that associate with you, the more people associate with your brand. And that opens you up to a lot of business opportunities. And even before we move on, I just want to reiterate that if you're not taking advantage of this, there's a lot that you're missing out on, because right now on social media, this is a super, super easy and probably one of the cheaper things that you can do in terms of really building your business. If you're doing it yourself, especially, personal branding is in general much cheaper than it would be to hire an influencer or to spend a bunch of money on other marketing ventures. This is a super big opportunity with a pretty low barrier to entry that can have some pretty big upsides if you do your personal branding right, and if you tie it well with your business.
Yeah, and by tying your face to your brand in a way that is essentially inseparable on social media, it also makes it a lot easier for anybody to reach out to you or your business when it comes to questions about products, customer service requests, or simply just trying to acquire whatever it is that you're selling. We talked at length about the importance of responding to direct messages on social media in a previous episode that I highly suggest you go check out if you haven't listened to it already. But if your brand is centered around you as a person, whether it's people who have recently followed you and only know you through social media, or personal connections that you've built up over the years, people are going to feel much more comfortable reaching out to you as a person with questions about your brand or your product than they would, say, just a impersonally branded business account where they might not necessarily know if their message is going to get responded to or if it's just going to get dumped into a folder that's never going to be looked at. If people have questions, if they know you, if they feel like they know you because they've been following you for a certain period of time, following your lifestyle and your brand, they're going to be much more willing and comfortable in terms of actually reaching out to you about your products.
Yeah, it's a good point. And another point is that you should definitely be including yourself on your business account as well, because you want to cross promote both ways. So especially if you're spending money, if you're doing social media right for your brand and you're posting a bunch, you should also include photos of yourself, or videos, ideally, of yourself. That way people that just follow your business account know who you are and learn who you are and can follow you. That way you're getting cross promotion on both sides. Because like Zach said, if they're just following your business account, they might not be tempted to reach out. But if they see a post that includes you, and they see you and they go follow you, then they're going to be much more likely to reach out to you directly. And it's going to be a more personal relationship. They're going to be more invested, like Zach said, they become more invested in you as a person. And this is also going to help build your personal brand, because if you're promoting from your business account and you're getting followers from there as well, it's kind of a win-win, and it's also some free content that you can post on your brand account. So kind of overall, this is a super win-win opportunity. If you personally are someone who's interested in this, or you know someone that's involved in your business that is, and basically we're going to talk a bit about in a second how certain people, are a better fit for this. But in terms of business type, this can literally work for just about every single business. There is literally, we thought about it a bunch, but pretty much any business, there's a way to do this, because all you have to do is tie yourself to the business in some way and just become that guy. Whether you're the car dealership guy or the Cricket flour protein powder guy. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of really investing yourself in the brand, and as long as you believe in it, other people are going to believe in it as well. So whatever company you have, there's certainly an opportunity here, and the same goes if it's a bigger company as well. There's absolutely no problem linking yourself with, you know, a company where maybe your business account is larger than your personal account, because it's going to grow over time. There's absolutely no reason for any business why you shouldn't be doing this if you or someone in your company is willing to do something like this. It's just a huge benefit these days, and something that we definitely don't see enough people taking advantage of. This is another big gap. Like we mentioned, videos are a big gap in social media right now, but this is also a huge gap and a big opportunity for any brand out there that hasn't done this already.
And I do just want to make this abundantly clear. Like we've talked about in the past, like Chase mentioned, videos, huge gap in social media, always outperform photos across social, whether it's ads or posts or stories or whatever it is. Videos are always going to do better. We see that same sort of empirical data when it comes to posting photos with people in them versus not. Across every account that we've ever run at our company, photos with people will always perform better. People like to see other people on social media. They like to interact with other people on social media. They don't just like to see boring photos of whatever your product is. So I just want to reiterate that and make that as clear as possible. By combining your brand with your personal branding, you're going to have a much better chance of getting more engagement, driving more followers, and just being able to interact with everybody who is interested in your account and your brand on a much more personal level than you would be if it was purely a business account.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's a huge opportunity for sure, and people are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna work better on social media, and what's also gonna work better on social media is, you know, what's more important than the business type, like I just mentioned, is really the type of person, because someone that's going to do this successfully needs to be invested in building their personal brand and also invested in the business, especially long term. So like we said, if you're the business owner, it doesn't have to be you, although it'd be great if it was, but it can be someone else that is tied to your business, as long as they're invested in doing this. Because what people can see through very easy on social media is when someone doesn't care, and especially if you're going to be doing videos, which we'd highly recommend you do. A lot of your personality and a lot of your feelings are going to come out very strongly in these videos. And so when picking someone to do this or deciding to do this yourself, it's very important to keep in mind some sort of personal characteristics that are going to make this a bit more successful, because you do need to be the type of person that people are going to be attracted to on social media, and that's gonna do well. And it doesn't necessarily just come down to one person. There's definitely, you know, people that are better for this than others. We want to give you sort of a general idea.
This episode of Times Are Changing is brought to you by Golden Aspect, our company. We're a digital media and marketing agency that specializes in a one contact for everything social approach and completely integrated marketing campaigns.
We emphasize high touch, strong client relationships, and fully integrated marketing approaches. Each of our marketers are proficient in every service we offer and are reachable 7 days a week by text or call. This reliable communication and interaction with your business ensures that your contact will be equipped to handle anything you need anytime you need it.
If you want to learn more about what Golden Aspect can do for your business or a friend's business, please feel free to check out our website, www.goldenaspect.com. That is www.goldenaspect.com.
1, 2.
And also provide some examples, because there's tons of great examples, probably people you're aware of. I mean, one that I know Zach brought up immediately was Phil Swift from Flex Seal. He is basically built his entire brand around Flex Seal. His name is pretty much inseparable from the brand. And this is a perfect example of this. But also when you look into him, you'll see he's got a bunch of, you know, characteristics. He's very charismatic. He's very out there. He's very funny. And so these are really sort of important foundations for building a successful personal brand in general, but also for this type of a process.
Yeah, it's important to recognize sort of what this looks like from a practical standpoint. Like Chase said, Phil Swift, great example. Gary Vee, another great example of building a massive worldwide agency around his personal brand. Anybody who does real estate on social media is another fantastic example, since those are typically sort of a one-man show kind of situation, combining their business with their personal brand through social media, like showing the houses that they have listing, people buying into that person, so that the next time that they want to go buy a house, they think of that person that they follow on social media that they like, and will likely go to them for that business advice because they feel like they know that person and what they do.
Yeah, these are all great examples of people, and just to go back to sort of what I mentioned at the beginning, in an ideal scenario, someone who's best fit for this is someone who's charismatic, and extroverted and social, and like I said, it most importantly, invested in their personal brand, because this is really a win-win situation where you're able to build your personal brand, which is going to open yourself up to a lot of new opportunities, even maybe beyond your current business or even with your current business. Not only are you opening yourself up to potential customers, but also potential collaborations. There's a huge benefit to having a strong personal brand just as a business owner in general. When it comes to, new business opportunities beyond simply customers, you're going to open yourself up to a lot of potential partnerships as well. And so it's important to just remember that, you have to be someone who's invested in this for it to work. It's going to be very transparent if you're not super invested in building your personal brand, and it's going to shine through in the content that you're creating, and people aren't going to be as invested in it. It's, social media is a game for, people's attention, and you kind of got to be putting yourself out there a bit. And so if you're not comfortable with that, it's something that you're going to have to think a little bit about, because in order to do this successfully, you do need to be someone who's willing to put themselves out there and really tie their personal brand to the business. So it has to be something that you really believe in, and that way people are going to buy into it just as you have. So something to keep in mind is that, it really can be done with just about everything, but it's important to remember that if you do dive into this, you really have to sort of, as we might say, full send, and really invest yourself in this for it to work successfully. Because if you kind of just do it a little bit, you're not going to see the returns that you would if you really make a concerted effort to do this over a long-term period.
Passion is contagious in every aspect of life, but specifically on social media. People like following people that they look up to and admire and want to imitate. So if that passion isn't reflected in what you're doing, it's not going to work to the best extent. If you're passionate about what you're doing with your brand and your business and your products, and you're reflecting that passion in your content that you're putting out there, people are going to associate that passion with both you and your brand. And that's how they're going to buy into you, your lifestyle, and your products.
Exactly. And just to illustrate sort of the power of this, we want to give a really tangible case study. This is one of our favorites. It's one of our clients that we work with actually through multiple positions now, but currently he's a general manager at a Mercedes dealership in Minnesota. And we've been working with him for a number of years now. And essentially the way in which we've promoted his personal brand is solely tied to the dealership and the cars that he works with. So he posts photos consistently, both of him and the vehicles, and people love them. This is a great example, obviously, because people love cars, so he's got a bit of an advantage there. But he's built over the years a very strong community of people, both locally and nationally, that follow him, that are invested in what he does. And so at the same time, he's been able to build his personal brand and promote whatever dealership he works at. And this also makes him a really valuable asset to the company that he's with. And this has been a really cool relationship we've been able to have.
Yeah, there's a staunch difference between, like, take the car dealership model, for example, between having just a business account for the dealership that posts a bunch of photos of the cars, and then tying that branding in with the general manager, posting photos of him with the cars. People over the years have really bought into him as a person and what he does with the cars, down to the point where now we have sort of a recurring joke on these accounts, where people love all the different crazy kind of socks that he wears. Like it's built a brand around him that's directly tied to his business and all of his vehicles. And what that means is now when people think about maybe wanting to get a new car or get out of their current car, they go to him personally, even if it's not like we said. Right now, he's working at a Mercedes dealership. Even if the car isn't a Mercedes that they're looking for, they'll go to him to find that car because in their mind, they like him, they like his personality, and he's so strongly associated with that idea of selling cars, buying cars, getting new cars. We sell literally 10 plus cars per month straight through Instagram or LinkedIn direct messages. Just because people are interested in him, they know that he has access to that industry and can help them on a personal level, where you wouldn't see that kind of interaction on just a straight boring dealership account.
Yeah, it's really been an awesome example of how this can work best. And he's a super charismatic, social guy. He's great in photos, and that always helps. It's super important for someone to, he really puts himself out there. Like I mentioned before, he really invests his personal brand in what he does in his work. And that really shines through. And that's why I think a lot of people really relate to him. Again, it does help that, he's associated with a lot of luxury cars, which people love, clearly. But like Zach said, this really does come down to the tangible level where people know him, reach out to him, and he's able to profit from it. And so this is a perfect example of how this type of personal branding and intertwining it with the business can be very, very successful. For the business and for him. Obviously, he's built a really strong personal brand, and wherever he goes, he's able to take that with him. So this is, just one of the examples, but a very clear example of the fact that, if he wasn't doing this, he would just be, a regular general manager, and all they would have is their business account and their brand as a whole, but especially in terms of just, social media engagement wouldn't nearly be what it is. He's able to get far more engagement even than their dealership account. And so it's a clear example of the opportunity that you're missing if you're not doing something like this. It's right there. And if you're someone who's a good fit for this is a huge opportunity.
Like we've mentioned, this is an approach that isn't super common in the social media world right now, and it's likely something that you're not going to find offered at any other really major social media agency or anything like that. We at Golden Aspect have a lot of experience doing this. This is something we've been doing for the last 3.5 years with select clients that are good fits for it. So if this is something that you think might be a good fit for your brand, you or someone at the company you think would be a great face for your products to be pushing on social media, please do let us know, hit us up, and we can definitely help you take full advantage of this new version of personal branding and business branding intertwined together in this way. So with that in mind, that's about where we're going to wrap things up for today. Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. We upload weekly episodes every Tuesday. If you're interested in reading our newsletter, please visit our website at goldenaspect.com/timesarechanting. Once again, that is goldenaspect.com/timesarechanting. Thank you all so much for listening to this edition of the Times Are Changing podcast, and we'll see you all next week. If you enjoyed listening to this week's podcast, please check us out on social media, Instagram at Golden Aspect Media. If you want to learn more about what our company can do for your business, please check out our website, www.goldenaspect.com. We offer everything from content creation, social media account management, to digital ad marketing campaigns.
Look, if you made it this far, you're obviously interested in this stuff. And are you doing it? Is your company doing it? If you're not, you really should be, because you're missing out, and we're here to help. So send us a message, send us an email, give us a call. We'll be here, ready to help. Take care.